And welcome to 66ers Safe at Home. It's our pleasure this week to catch up with 66ers pitcher Chris Rodriguez. And Chris is down in Florida right now. And Chris, we always start off these interviews saying, "How are you doing?" Because we're all kind of in the same boat. But I know for you, you're chomping at the bit to get this thing rolling, aren't you?
Yes, yeah, I'm doing well. Everything's going great. Doing what I can at home. Making sure I stay active and get ready for the season. But overall, everything's good. As long as everybody's safe, I'm all right.
Yeah, well, and you live, you're a Miami guy, you're a South Florida guy, and when we think of this time of year and then the last month, South Florida is always humming with baseball. And I know your plans were to be in Arizona at spring training, and now starting a season. It's been a weird year for you, though. Really a weird 2 years for you. For fans who don't know, you've been battling back injuries that have really kind of curtailed your ability to get out there in games. So this has to be doubly frustrating for you, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it was frustrating last year. Getting back on the mound and kind of after losing 1 year in 2018. So that was frustrating. And then this one, being healthy, feeling good, throwing bullpens and everything in Arizona, and then all of a sudden this has happened. It was frustrating at first, but just timing's everything, and at this point, I feel like everything happens for a reason. So maybe this is better. Maybe this will even get me more ready for the season than I probably was. So
Well, it's funny because we think of you as a 66er because you started the year last year and you had three outings. Your last outing you had, which was I looked it up, that was 53 weeks ago. Uh, I mean, you just went out and carved up a very good Lake Elsinore lineup, 4 innings, no walks, 7 strikeouts. I know for you, an outing like that, I know you like to rack up strikeouts. Who doesn't, right? But no walks for you. You commanded all your pitches, and for you to get to that point and then have take a little step back after missing 2018. You say everything happens for a reason. How much time did you give yourself to get to that point where you say everything happens for a reason? Because if it were me, I'd be chucking stuff around the room.
yeah, you know, it took I would say it took me a couple weeks. Like, even though I told myself like the day after I found out the news and just the way I was feeling, I told myself, oh, yeah, everything happens for a reason. But it kind of doesn't really hit you till like I'll say the 2 week mark where you're just like, it's in God's hands and whatnot. But it was super frustrating at first. Like, you just wanted to punch everything you saw at first, but you know, 2 week mark, I kind of calmed down. I was like, you know what, this is just time to get stronger.
Yeah. Uh, so for fans who maybe don't follow the it's back injuries, and those are always tricky, obviously, and there can be setbacks, things like that. Um, how did the Angels kind of prepare you to get ready for this year? And where were you at physically coming into the spring training?
So Angels pretty much. So the in 2019, like I said, I was dealing with back problems as well. However, we were on a core program. Everything was feeling good. But this year, or I would say last year coming into this year, we stepped it up a notch. We when it came to the core program, we made it double as hard. We just made sure that everything was as strong as it could possibly be. And then coming into this year, I was full go. I was getting ready to go into season strong. In the beginning of the season, you know, and yeah. So coming into the season, I was ready to go. I was feeling great. Everything was coming out really well. So I was really excited with everything.
So I mean, that's one thing that you said, throwing hard, and that's one of your MOs. What I love about watching you pitch, and the few times I did get to watch you pitch, was you're a guy with a lot of levers. You're kind of tall, lanky guy. Obviously, you've been in the weight room and you're stronger, but uh, you have easy gas. I mean, you were 96, 97 miles per hour, but I thought what was impressive was all your secondary stuff. And I don't know if we can call it secondary anymore, the way the game's changing, but
Yeah.
uh, you know, you have quite the repertoire. Take fans through kind of what you're chucking up to the plate in terms of different looks you can give guys.
So basically right now it's basically, for instance, my fastball is about the 94, 97 range, maybe can touch 98. Then I have a slider. It goes about 87 to can be up to 92. A curveball that's about 85, 86. And then my changeup that can be 87, 89. And, the big thing with me is just making sure all my secondary pitches, I can throw them all for strikes and have as much feel with them than I do a fastball.
And a 4-pitch mix. I mean, a lot of guys aren't working with 4 full pitches, but each one of those does something a little different for you. Do you have a bread and butter one? I know that, you have matchups and you're setting up certain hitters, but, if you need a strike or a strikeout, is there one that you feel like, hey, I just got to dig deep with this pitch?
It, it really depends. I would say it's between my slider and changeup.
Yeah.
My changeup at times, if it's a great day and it's feeling good, I feel like I can throw it any count. Especially that 2-strike count, I'll get swings and misses on it a lot. And to be honest, slider, like when it comes to slider and curveball, it just depends if it's a righty or lefty.
Yeah.
Sometimes a curveball can be more effective to the righties than it would be to the lefties, and etc. But I mean, I guess I would say I'm most confident with my changeup, though. I feel like if I had to put one on top, it would be my changeup.
Yeah, it's a nice changeup. It's one that, like you said, swing and misses, and swing and miss changeups are pretty rare. So now, with all this going on, are you able to throw? Are you able to throw against the wall, or I know you got a brother. Do you have to make him just get pummeled on sliders in the dirt, or what's going on?
No. So basically, I've been very fortunate enough to be able to find a place to throw. I have a couple pro ball buddies too that we make sure that we're home, and then we go to the field, and those are the only places we go. So I've been able to throw with him as well. So I've been very fortunate. I also I put plywood on my garage wall so I can be able to throw weighted balls to it and stuff, just to make sure my arm's active. So I've been very, very fortunate to be able to stay active.
Yeah, I'd be worried if you were throwing those weighted balls might knock the house off the foundation. I hope you have that isolated. Uh, with all this going on, I take a step back, and you were drafted out of high school, Pace High School in South Florida, and so you're growing up in pro ball. And I hate to be patronizing with saying you're growing up, oh kid,
Yeah.
but you're 21, 22, and you know you're. I would think the first couple years. I mean, what a complete avalanche of responsibility and emotions and things like that. And now it seems like, hey, I'm growing into this thing. Now I'm a pro. Is that fair?
Yeah, it really is. When you first get in there, I was fortunate enough to be drafted at 17 years old. So basically, my parents had to come with me to sign my contract. And once you say bye to them, I'm in Arizona. My family's in Florida, so there's no calling mom and dad anymore. It's kind of on your own. So those I would say first 2 years, maybe your half year and then your full year, you're kind of really learning. You're learning how to act. How to act in the dugout compared to pro ball in high school. You're also learning how to live. Whether it's washing your clothes, whether it's cooking, whether it's stuff like that you got to. Luckily I was fortunate enough to have teammates who were older and have been through the college experience where they kind of guided me to the right ways, and when to say stuff, when not to say stuff. And I've been very fortunate, but definitely as the years gone by, you learn more and more about this pro ball thing. And just growing up, whether it's a person or a ball player, you got to do both while you're in season.
Forgive me for this maybe a little bit, but I noticed that some of the guys ride you a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But I think some of that is because, yes, you were younger than them, but B, they see you have some game. So that there's an equality there, but they know there's like the kid brother that's going to be really good, so they got to give you a little bit of gas from time to time. Did you feel that?
I mean, you said it best. It's basically just the little brother. if that's what I can put myself as, I'm the little brother compared to a lot of those guys. And, when they rag on me, I go with it. I'm not gonna get upset at it. They know that they can say stuff to me and I won't really get upset. So, it's just that friendly foundation that we've built around the whole Angels organization. Whether it's me getting ranked on or Marsh getting ranked on. We take that role and hopefully one day we can give it back to the young guys.
Yeah, it's if they don't talk to you is when you got to worry. But
yeah, exactly.
now, this, forgive me, we're talking about the injuries and stuff like that, and I know you're very positive, but I've noticed on social media and stuff like that, man, you're raring to go to get this thing going. That's one thing I admire about you in the short time that we worked together was you seem to really like baseball. I know that sounds crazy, but some guys are really good at baseball and they play baseball. You're very good, and it seems like you really like to be out there. It kind of feeds you.
Yeah. I mean, baseball my whole life has been a way to just get away from the world, whether it's, if you got problems going on in the house or you got, maybe you don't have any problems and you're just looking to have some fun, baseball is that place for me. And, not having that for a whole year in 2018, it kind of fed me a little bit. I started getting really, really hungry. So as I got on that mound in 2019, even though it was 3 starts, I told myself every single start that this is going to be my last start, whether it is or it isn't. That's the way I want to treat every start. And just, once you're on the mound, there's no better feeling, whether it's you got people in the crowd and you hear the crowd or, you just the smell of it, you get on there and you're like, this is baseball. This is what I dreamed about. And then, so when I love something like that, I'm going to do everything possible, whether it's on or off the field. I'm going to make sure I take care of it as much as I can. If things happen like bumps on the road, whether it's injuries or not, that's not in my control. I can only control what I can control.
My estimation of you heading into this season was if you have some early success, you're going to be a fast mover up the ranks simply because of your stuff. Now that's me just spitballing, but did you get that same feeling as well?
It's hard to say. I have a feeling that I can move up through the system. But it's tough to kind of think about that. Honestly, this year I was just ready to throw. I told myself, I'm like, whether I go to high A or to the 66ers or if I go to Huntsville, Alabama, I don't care where I'm going. I just want a baseball in my hand. I want to wear an actual jersey and I just want to throw,
Right.
So, hopefully the way they're thinking would be that I can move up quick, but, I'm not trying to get my mind on that. I'm just trying to stay down to earth as much as I can,
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, you've had to deal with plenty of hurry up and wait, and unfortunately, you're in that scenario again. We all are, but Chris, we can't thank you enough for getting us caught up with you, and we'll be excited once baseball's back to watch you on the mound again.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, that's Chris Rodriguez of the Angels organization and 66er, and we thank him so much for his time joining us on 66ers Safe at Home.